Good evening, everybody. My name is Commander Franco Fly of the PTN Little Nelly. How are we all doing this evening?
Doing great, Commander.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining. And for some of you, obviously, this is the first time you're coming to Rackham's for the Booze Cruise. So welcome. And obviously, if you are new to obviously PTN as well, so welcome to that as well. PTN's been doing this for a little while now. We seem to have got a rough idea of when the booze cruise or when the prices in Rackham go astronomical, to pardon the pun there. We normally know it's around about this time or in the lead up to it, but obviously that's based on Frontier's servers and when what's called the server tick happens, and then suddenly the prices go from being 33,000 profit per ton to something ridiculous. I think it's like 250,000 or something like that. So for every run in a Python, you make about 80 million credits. So this is why the Booze Cruise is very, very popular. So I apologise now. I play on the PlayStation, so your interface may look a little different to how mine does. So I apologise, and I'm obviously running Horizons because we don't have Odyssey yet. So just want to quickly show you the system map, because this explains how we talk about P. You may see things like P1, P2, P3, that stands for the planets. So there are 6 here. And as you can see, Rackham's is filling up quite nicely now, and it's possibly getting very full now. So if you see, say, the PTN waffle unloading and it says P3, you know that it's around the planet 3. Which then sort of helps you work out in this very, very long list of carriers where to sort of look for it. You may find carriers that just say fleet carrier and then the number behind it that you want to make sure you remember or make a note of the carrier identifier. So for Little Nelly, it's XLV-5 W5N. So if it doesn't come up, at least you can sort of find it. You may want to bookmark it if you're doing multiple runs, but that could get a little way with you if you've got too many of them. You may also see something called N that we refer to, and that refers to, if I go into the galaxy map, is the end stage of the climb to Rackham's. So if I scroll out, you can see all the green little bookmarks there, and we're currently at N0, which is Rackham's, and then N1 is just over here, and then N2 is just below that, and so that's our process of getting carriers in and out of the system, because you can't actually travel in and out of the system without a fleet carrier. So it's very important that you come in on a fleet carrier and leave, because the only other way to leave is to blow yourself up to get yourself to the bubble. So that's that. Just moving over to the Discord channel. I'm just using OBS, so I'll need to change that to show you the Discord channel. And you're probably getting a little bit of a feedback loop there, so I apologise. And my laptop's very old and slow, so obviously you've noticed that you have now access to Booze Cruise, and you'll have various different channels. So the PTN RPP HTMS is our kind of air traffic control system that we work out who's going in and out, and it will tell other fleet carriers to move in and move out. Obviously the guide is a good place to go. Obviously, hopefully this video will help you through that. Obviously the sign up, which hopefully you would have done, so you would have signed up, so that's why you're here. And obviously the announcements is if we tell you anything sort of important that you should know about, such as sort of yesterday, a few of you were trying to dock on various carriers and you had notoriety, so one of the sommeliers said, can people remove that for the duration of the booze cruise. Obviously you guys have been noticing the departures if you've already arrived in Rackham's, and then there's a few others here such as the booze cruise sort of general chat, and the preparation for people who are still in the bubble loading up wine, and obviously a loading page for that. So this is where all the information, when the server tick happens, Pirate Steve will be announcing when and where your carrier is and what kind of unload it will be. So there are two types of unload that exists. Let me just cut back to on my ship. There's a timed one. So if there's quite a lot of people around, we know that there's a lot of people wanting to unload, we might do a timed release of wine. So that will normally be about 30 to 60 seconds, where we'll just unlock it for everyone at a set minute UTC, and then you can just buy up whatever you can load up in your Python, which should be 292 tons. So everyone kind of gets a fair shot at it, because if it's a bit quieter, then we will do what's called an open sale, where we'll just unlock the carrier, and then people can just fly in on a carrier and just keep loading and loading and taking it over to Rackham's. There are two types of, well, there are multiples, sorry. You've got the PTN carriers, such as Little Nelly, and then you have what are called NAC, network affiliated carriers, such as, off the top of my head I can't think of one, but there are a few. And then there will be other auxiliary carriers that have decided that they want to kind of join in and use our system for unloading wine. The sommeliers, which is I'm one of them, and people like Dunstcap are we're the controllers of the release of wine, and we'll also sort of negotiate who's coming in and out of the system with their fleet carriers. We've noticed recently that maybe some people, as soon as they've unloaded one and it's all empty, they're like, where's the next one, where's the next one? Please bear with us, we will be getting you wine as soon as we can, but obviously we have to move carriers around to do that, and we want to make it fair across everyone who's obviously around the world at different time zones, so we don't want to unlock, say, 6 carriers all at once for everyone in the United States or in Europe, and then leave nothing for people in Asia or Australia. So please don't constantly ask about it. We are working to get you them as soon as possible and to make it fair for everyone. So going to take a quick trip off my carrier now, just to show you a little, obviously, Rackham's, quick little tour of Rackham's, but also how to get into the Rackham station. So I apologise if the frame rate's a little slow. My computer's a little old. So let's go find Rackham's, which I bookmarked, which is just here. Hopefully it's the only icon that's different. No, that's a carrier. And that will help us know where we're going. And I'll explain some stuff as we travel over. So obviously we're going to go into Super Cruise. Let's get out of here. Obviously you can't hear anything at the moment. So a couple of things to go over while we travel over to Rackham's. There are pirates around, so just be aware of those. They will try and get you, and I've been gotten a few times, just pulled out of hyperspace, and then you're kind of running away. I've got no wine on board, so I'm not really going to be of interest to any pirates. There are there's two modes, obviously, within Elite. There's open and solo mode. I would probably recommend that you fly in solo mode when you're doing this, because there could be people around who want to destroy you. So it's probably just safer to be in solo mode, unless you're doing like a community event like SRV Racing, or some of the PC lot like to do a group photo. So I would probably go in solo mode as much as possible. And that's the mode I tend to sit in. When you're in Super Cruise, obviously, some of you may have Super Cruise mode. Now, it's great if you're using Super Cruise Assist, because it kind of drops you out of the right place. But with Rackham's, it will actually drop you out double the distance, roughly double the distance from the station. So instead of dropping you about 19 kilometers out, it will drop you about 40, which means it's a bit of a longer transition to get to the station itself. So just so you're aware of that, because that is something that happens. And also with Super Cruise, I feel that it's possibly easier for pirates to latch on to you and pull you out and try to steal your cargo. Quickly, while we arrive at Rackham's, if anyone's got any questions now, probably a good time to ask them.
Is there a list of the ladder steps somewhere online?
If you're part of the squadron, they should be in the squadron links. That's why my ones were green. There is somewhere, when you become a fleet carrier, there is a list. Or you can use, there's a website, if you look for fleet carrier plotter. That will get, if you put your start and finish system, which obviously for Rackham's is, I can't remember what it is, HIP 5, 8 something, it will give you the route up. And it's pretty much the same for everyone.
It's system HIP 58832.
Nice one. Well done. I can never remember it, which is why I put the bookmarks in for everyone on the PlayStation, so they didn't have to remember it themselves. So we're just arriving around Rackham's, which is obviously orbiting the sun. I did forget to say that there is actually star positions for fleet carriers. You can see the little dots there that are fleet carriers that are orbiting the sun right now. So obviously, being around the sun, it's a bit of a quicker transition to and from the station. Whether it's coming from the planet, as you've noticed, it's taken a little bit longer.
I have a question, Captain.
Go for it.
When we arrive to Rackham's Peak and we're playing in solo, and there's another ship in the medium pad, what should we do?
I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So that's actually on my next on my list, is exactly how to get rid of those narky people on the pad. The downside to Rackham's is there's actually only one medium pad, which means that as soon as an NPC arrives, because they seem to spawn a lot closer to the station than we do, they obviously get in first, which is a little annoying. So here's Rackham's. It's a big structure. There is money to be gained if you data link some of the various outpost buildings. So it's worth doing. Don't shoot at anything here. It's not a good idea, because you'll end up with a fine and possibly destroyed, which will put you in Rackham's, or it might put you back in the bubble, so it's really not a good idea. Someone asked whether they should, I saw on the Discord earlier, whether they should shoot at the NPC on the pad. Really wouldn't recommend it. It normally won't end well for you. So we're approaching now. You can see the medium pad. We've actually come in on the right angle here. If you can't see the medium pad, it's on the other side, but we've appeared on the right side. So what I do is I approach, slow down with about 2 kilometers to go, and I pan to the right so that when I look, I can see the pad myself. And then I will target the sometimes I need to just aim and then latch on to whoever's landing, which is the keel back here. So just going to let him land. Once the light's turned off, you can start requesting docking. Obviously it keeps getting denied, but what happens is you see is the platform goes down, he will swivel around, come back straight back up and take off. So that's the way to get rid of the NPC, otherwise you could be waiting anywhere up to 5 minutes for it to actually leave. So that's the way to get rid of them. So you just wait for the lights to turn out on the pad, and then request, and you're in. During this moment, I normally will go find my carrier again that I'm unloading from. So we'll try and go find Little Nelly again, which is on hip 4. Where is it? 4. Little Nelly, and I'll lock my destination so that when I take off, I know where to point myself. And then I can head off in the right direction to go start to head towards them and do another unload. I would also recommend when you're landing back at the fleet carriers that you actually replot back to Rackham's whilst the landing's going on. That saves you a bit of time doing that. So we're going to head back now, and it's a good time to kind of ask a load of questions if you have any more. Hopefully that's sort of helped you understand how the booze cruise works. If you add in loads of hours, you can make a serious amount of money, and it's where we print fleet carriers is up at Rackham's, because you can make a lot of money. So the forum is open now for people to ask questions.
What's the medium of runs you can do on a single carrier when everyone is unloading?
Sorry, what's that?
What's the average of runs you can do on a single carrier when everyone is unloading?
Average runs, it varies based on how many players are in. Obviously 292 tons, divide that by the amount of wine on board, which obviously varies between different carriers. If you happen to be lucky and it's a bit quiet, you can get more runs in. But when it's busier, I remember when I did one of my first ones, I think I got about 2 or 3 runs per carrier. But obviously it varies based on how many people are on.
Roger that. We'll have that.
Don't worry, you'll make money. There's plenty of carriers ready and waiting with wine.
Thank you.
Has anyone got any more questions?
Yeah, how do you determine how do you communicate the opening and closing of the?
So the sommeliers, or the wine carriers themselves, will tell Pirate Steve that they're ready to unload, and then it will tell there'll be a message that puts out, and just follow the instructions there. The timed ones will have a set of 3 buttons to say that you're inbound, that you've docked, and that you've purchased. So just follow the instructions on those. And when it's open, normally it has a little 100 button. So when it's empty, you just hit 100, and then it notifies everyone that it's empty. Any more questions?
That should do it for me. Thanks, Ken.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining on this. I hope it was instructive for you guys. Please remember that everyone's a volunteer on this, and some of the team have been preparing for this in the last week. So please thank them as you go along. It's really greatly appreciated. And so there is a a way of saying thank you to a particular member that's been very, very helpful. I'm not asking you to vote for me here, but there is a way to send a message to the upper echelons to say, oh, this other player was really helpful in helping understand something about the game. So do look for that. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the booze cruise.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commander. Same to you. I must say, what a nice briefing.
Thank you.
What a nice briefing, Commander.
I wrote a lot of notes down of things I needed to
Well done.
mention.
My congratulations.
You're very welcome.
Now, let the wine flow.
It will do very shortly, I'm sure.
Commander Aster Goldtwicker signing out.
Excellent. Take care, everyone.